making burlesque history, you know, and we're becoming stronger women by doing that.
This is my moment. It has come.
It was an adventure.
Those years were the happiest years of my life. I also did a lot of drugs and drank a lot of champagne.
No, I really shouldn't be alive.
The pioneers of burlesque are being celebrated in a new documentary, League of Exotic Dancers. It traces their lives before, during, and after their time in the business, and the triumphant return to the stage at the Burlesque Hall of Fame induction weekend in Las Vegas. Joining us this morning is director Rama Rao and two of the Burlesque Hall of Fame members featured in the film, Judith Stein and Camille 2000. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
This is, I literally just said it off camera, but I'll say it again. This is a doc like no other I have seen.
Thank you.
How do you get your subject matter? What came to you? Where did the idea come from?
Well, I wanted to make a film on burlesque, and I said, you know, making a film on 22-year-old stripping, it's okay. It's not a story, but we did hire a researcher, and we found that in Las Vegas, the Burlesque Hall of Fame inducts the legends, and they are the legends who performed during the 50s and 60s. And they are invited back, and they are inducted in the Hall of Fame, and they still strip, they still perform. And to me, that's a great story.
And the performance, and I think the thread throughout the documentary, is that it is a performance. Mm-hmm. That, you know, people tend to think stripping is stripping and their clothes are off and here's the pole and sit on this guy's, you know, lap. and that was not at all what you did back in the day. It was performance. Tell me about the actual dancing, what it gave you in terms of confidence.
Oh, well, when you walk out on stage and all the love that you feel from everyone, you know, like, they love me, that, you know, that makes you feel good.
And what did people think in those days, in the beginning, about getting up on stage and removing your clothes?
Well, they thought it was kind of bad, or we were like low lives, or something, you know. We didn't have like a good reputation for like taking our clothes off. They judged us.
Nice girls didn't strip. Nice, intelligent girls didn't strip. You were considered a bit of a bimbo. But we let them believe that because we were out making money. I put myself through school, stripping, and you learn to live with the judgment. And, you know, and if you took the time to get to know us, you found out that we were intelligent, we were empowered, and we were strong, brave women.
Well, and that's all of the folks, in you two included, extraordinarily strong women. Unbelievably strong women for a lot of what you've been through. Right, and that's part of what you're saying is, right, you know, going up and selling your body on stage was empowering because it was your body to sell.
That's right.
Right.
Nobody else was controlling you.
You got to be sure of yourself. You got to be sure of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And the bottom line was, I grew up in Canada and Toronto area, and I was a budding feminist, and people said, but how can you be a feminist and be a stripper? And it was like, isn't this what we fought for? The right to own my own body and do with what I chose to do. I'm not hurting anyone. And the bottom line is, it is also a good thing for allowing a man to sit and openly be able to look at a woman's body without the shame. You know, even today, men will give you a quick glance because it's politically incorrect to really check out someone. So here I am.
And this is what, I mean, I think that you could have called the documentary Here I Am, because it's not just these extraordinarily beautiful photographs from back in the day. It's the decision to follow women going back to it, who still want to dance or still have the ability to go out there and put on a show and have the confidence to do it. Did it take some convincing?
Not at all. As soon as I said burlesque, people were throwing money at me. But having said that, for me, the film was never about nostalgia. It wasn't about the good old days. It's about, wow, if you can have the courage at 6 to 6 to strip and perform, I've got to make a film on it. You know?
And, you know, in some ways, you know, burlesque nearly killed you.
Yes.
But also saved your life.
Yes, it did. After after my husband died, I was very depressed and I was like about to die. And the Burlesque Hall of Fame called me and they wanted me. I said, wow, somebody cares about burlesque. I didn't realize at the time there was a revival because I'm living in Florida, you know, just there with my dogs, retired, working at the gym, not knowing about burlesque or keeping in touch with anybody. and they wanted me to come perform. Well, I refused to perform for like 10 years
Yeah.
because I wanted to be remembered how I was. But when I saw a 90-year-old dancer come on stage, yeah, I said, if she could come on, bless her heart. And then after my husband died, I wanted to do a tribute to him. And so my debut, I did R. Kelly's A Fan Dance, So I Believe I Can Fly. And I came up from the stage and like rose up. And as I'm rising up, I feel like a phoenix rising. I could feel it emotionally. When I came off stage, I almost collapsed. I was so emotional, and I couldn't stop crying. Bambi the mermaid had to grab me. My knees like gave out. And girls were coming up later and like crying and said, I got your message. I loved it. And I'm so glad that I do go to Burlesque Hall of Fame. Now I perform every year. Last year I did Love is a Battlefield to Light and Nunchucks. I
Still
do like
doing it.
aggressive art shows also. I do the classic one year, then I'll do aggressive art.
And I'm glad you said art, because it truly is an
Yes.
incredible stage art through the years that has changed and yet has enjoyed this revival. The other part of the documentary is the private lives behind it, which you dig very deep into. There's so much to this. But ladies, thank you so much for sharing
you
a little
very
of it
kindly.
with us this morning.
Thank you.
League of Exotic Dancers is the opening night film at the Hot Docs Film Festival, and that is tomorrow night. We'll have a link, by the way, to the festival on our website, canadaam.ctvnews.ca.